Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the channel, and today we are diving into ScrapMan DevBlog 23, which has some more information on Chapter 2 and a sooner update that we might be able to see as early as May of this year, so just a couple months away. So, let's dive into it. Calling all mechanics, welcome to another DevBlog full of fun news. We'll start with something that we've been working on for the next chapter, then we'll share some things that are included in the upcoming challenge mode update. Enjoy. All right, so we got some images, some GIFs and images of this new seat here, which is apparently a turret seat, which looks amazing. I'm just going to scroll through them really quick right now so we can read about them, and then we'll come back and look at them in more detail, because there's some things I've noticed as I've been looking through this. A big chapter update is coming, and with it come new interactive parts. For this one, we are excited to reveal the new turret seat. It's been on our secret to-do list for a very long time, and we finally got around to making it happen. This new part lets you drive like a normal seat while also allowing you to freely turn it in all directions, as well as letting you build anything you like on the front. Arm it with a mountable spud gun, equip it with drills for precision digging. These are just a few examples of the ways you can use the turret seat. So what really caught my attention to this is being able to use this turret seat to drive like a normal seat while also turning it in all directions. So I'm curious what their plans are for controls, and I think I have an idea of how it's going to work, but I'm wondering if it's going to have any customizability at all. All right, so let's go back up to the top here. So now what I suspect is that this turret seat is actually mouse controlled, and there's a particular part of these images that leads me to this belief. I believe that this GIF right here was actually recorded from a third party, so not the person driving. You can tell by how still the camera is as the vehicle actually moves. But you can see the turret in action as he drills around. Looks really, really stable. And we also see the sticky wheels in action. They seem very, very effective at just plain driving on walls. You know what else I really hope they fix with this update is the way that the first-person camera works. Because if you're going to be driving upside down all around caves, the camera better tip upside down with the player, because right now it doesn't, and it's really, really weird. So hopefully with the addition of this turret seat and riding on walls becoming like a standard thing in the game, that they've done some work with the first-person camera function as well. All right, so we get a slightly more chaotic GIF here, and this one actually looks like it's filmed from a God mode camera angle, like the person just flying around, but pretty much shows the same thing. This next one, this is actually the recording that gives me the indicator that this is mouse controlled, because look at how chaotic the camera movements are, but also look at what they are trying to accomplish with the turret here. If you look closely, there is essentially a scoop attached to the end of this turret, and what is happening in this GIF is that they are grabbing a hay bot, lifting it up and tossing it off to the side. Now, if you were to do that with a mouse control, what exactly would you be doing with your turret? You would be aiming underneath them. Then once you got underneath them, you would aim way up in the sky, whip them around, and then hope that they go flying. And that is exactly what we see the mouse movement doing, and why the camera is so chaotic. Because if you were actually going to film this crazy stunt here, I don't know why the camera would be going crazy unless the camera was from the actual driver's perspective and the turret was being mouse controlled. So I'm pretty sure that the turret is mouse controlled, which is actually awesome, because that is going to make this so much easier. Having spud gun turrets, actual mounted spud guns, aiming is going to be a night and day difference between using keyboard buttons versus mouse aiming. I don't know how easy it's going to be to add such a large seat to like an aircraft or something like that, but this could have the potential of making dogfights a viable thing in Scrap Mechanic, because dogfighting using mouse and keyboard controls is absolutely terrible. It is a nightmare. And actually, dogfights would be even better than that if we could assign pitch and roll controls to the mouse controls, but I don't think that is going to be what this is going to allow for. But still, spud guns on a mouse controlled turret will actually make them worth it, because it's going to be so much easier to place your shots and know where you're aiming. Yeah, and here's another shot of the person chaotically zooming in and out from first person. So yeah, this is going to be a game changer. It is an awkwardly large seat though for a turret, because when you think about building tanks and things that will use turrets, you're not going to have a lot of design control. You're going to have to hide this thing in there if you don't want this to be the aesthetic that you're going for. So although I'm not expecting it, I would really hope that they would allow mouse controls to be an assignable control to whatever controls that we want to implement in our vehicles. All right, so now we got some static images so we can look at this thing in more detail. You may notice that the character is also wearing an outfit that does not exist in the current state of the game, so that's a thing. New outfit here. Pretty cool backpack on this one. I think if I got that backpack, that would be worth replacing my current backpack with. Yeah, so looking at the size of this seat, this is a pretty massive seat. This is definitely going to be the largest seat out of all of them. But yeah, we also got a pretty good close-up of the new drills here. These new drills look awesome, the plasma drills. All right, moving on to what is probably the most important part of this update. This, as you can see by the shape, this is wedge related. So this is going to be wedge gang tool right here. So here we go, the sawbot. We are showing off a few new helper bots in this devblog, but this is one of our new favorites. Well, obviously, because wedges. Previously, we revealed that wedges are finally coming to Scrap Mechanic. If you're looking to get wedges in survival, you will need to get your hands on this aggressive assistant. Just feed it any type of block you want, and the sawbot will cut them into perfect scalable wedges. This is a little bit confusing to me on how this is going to work, because at first I was like, oh, do we have to cut it into the particular type of wedge that we want, and then we just get that as an individual placeable block? But it says scalable wedges, so we should be able to adjust the scalability of them. So my guess is that we're going to have a separate allocation of blocks that are used for blocks, and that same type of material that is used for wedges. So if you have 500 blocks and you want to make wedges of those blocks, you can convert, say, 250 of them to wedges. But I'm really curious what the conversion ratio is going to be between a regular assortment of blocks down to wedges. One thing about this, though, I hope they don't keep these edges here, especially if you start to build wider wedges, like, you know, put another wood block next to this. I don't want to see this in between every single row of wedges. It'd be nice to have these be able to cleanly merge with flat pieces. But as long as I get scalable wedges in creative mode too, I'll be happy. All right, so now we got some creepy dark images that have some really interesting stuff on them. So these are secret underground locations. A lot of work has been done on the new underground locations, and we still have a few left to get done. Here are some new places we've been working on for the next chapter. We can't go too much into what they are, so we leave it up to you to speculate for now. That was a tough sentence to read. We can't go too much into what they are, so now... This is like a tongue twister. We can't go too much into what they are, so we leave it up to you to speculate for now. Okay, let's actually take a look in more depth at these images, starting back at the top. All right, so, dark room, staircase, lights. Oh, it looks like we have a catwalk here that we can actually go inside of. There's even an opening right here that we could come out of, but that definitely seems like a secret, sneaky pathway to take. Kind of like the vents in warehouses. There's also some rock in here, so it hasn't been, like, completely terraformed away, the natural, rock. Or maybe that's a spill or something. Looks more like rock to me, though. All right, moving on. This is a confusing picture. It's hard to tell which way's up. Like, is this the floor down here? Is this the floor down here? Like, are we looking at, is this the horizontal surface? I kind of feel like we could walk on this right here, but part of me also feels like we could walk on this. No, yeah, I think it's this. Yeah, I think we're looking down from somewhere up above. I wonder if this is going to be like another type of warehouse where there's going to be tape bots, or maybe even another type of enemy in here. This looks like it'll be a scary place for tape bots. Okay, now this is a really interesting image to me because I see puzzles here and a new type of ball object. We have the challenge mode ball, which like is the only viable sphere-like object that we have, but now it looks like we have a new design for a smaller ball. I'm assuming it's, you know, we don't really know the scale of this image, but based off of these pipe pieces, this definitely looks like a smaller ball than the challenge mode ball, like a 3x3 instead of, I forget what the challenge mode ball is, but it's definitely not 3x3. So there's a couple of things I noticed in here. One of the things I noticed is this looks very similar to one of those challenge mode ball capture devices, ball triggers, but obviously made for this type of ball. So we might have to solve some puzzles challenge mode style in these underground warehouses. Another thing I'm noticing is this right here looks like kind of like a marble run style ball track. You can even see a little tiny sliver of it at the top of the image. You can see a ball rolling down one of these. So we're probably gonna have to get these and bring them to certain things and have them roll down tubes and into receptacles and unlock special things. Lots of cables. Who's doing this cable management here? It looks so nice here, and then they just have piles of cables around. And then we got this one right here, which is, this one gets a lot more industrial. We got the molten metal. So it seems like it's probably some type of smelting plant or something that we can probably get some decent materials from. All right, moving on. Multi-component kit. Whether you're looking to upgrade your gear to top-tier quality or craft some new items that you'll find underground, you're going to need better component kits. Introducing the new multi-component kit, created to help you get the highest quality stuff that survival mode has to offer. So this is interesting. I don't know if this is like a standard number, like if this is just worth 2 component kits, or if you can find one that are like 5x component kits or 10x component kits for super special occasions or something. But it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to get bigger loot drops of more component kits. I mean, even like the farm bots themselves, when you kill them, drop max like 2 component kits. Sometimes they don't even drop any component kits. So I wonder where we're gonna be getting these from. All right, so now we have a whole assortment of images of another new type of thing here. So this is the ore collector and crusher. The underground is filled with all kinds of new ore containing the rare and precious metals you're going to need for all your crafting and upgrading needs. In order for you to squeeze every drop out of what the new chapter has to offer, we have added 2 new tools to the mechanics repertoire, the ore collector and the crusher. The ore collector will gather rocks that you will mine underground, and when it's full, it will feed its payload to your newest helper bot, the crusher. By crushing the rocks into fine powder, the crusher will allow you to extract those precious rare materials like gold. And here is our sneak peek of them. So this is obviously the collector, and this is obviously the crusher. The crusher looks very much like the refine bot that we currently have for stone and wood. I'm curious what the animation is gonna look like. But this collector looks very different and very cool. So I'm curious what the ore looks like. If this is what the collector looks like, what does the ore look like? Our old collectors are kind of hollow rectangles that pick up rods. But this is kind of the opposite. Rather than the inside being hollow, the outside's kind of hollow. But this is adding some more complication here because it is getting more and more difficult to imagine an all-in-one vehicle, because right now, making a vehicle that is capable of chopping down trees and drilling through stone and picking all that stuff up in resource collectors that are then fed into refine bots, that is a lot of weight and a lot of materials for one vehicle. So now if you want to also add ore gathering to that, I feel like it's not even going to be worth it at that point. You need a separate vehicle. You might as well have separate vehicles, a dedicated underground mining vehicle, a dedicated surface mining and lumber vehicle. It's going to be harder and harder to have a one-size-fits-all vehicle now. All right, up next, we have a preview of the Trashbot. Highly anticipated here. The top of the warehouse is actually going to have a purpose. So, Trashbot update. We haven't talked about this messy clanker for a long time, so we'll keep this short so it doesn't stick up the DevBlog. We were considering not even showing it off until release, but since many of you have been curious about our new enemy, here is a GIF showing that he's alive and kicking, even if he's missing a few textures. So I was wondering about that, because if you look at his face, it seems very not colorful. All right, so if we look closely, we can see that he has at least 2 attacks that are shown here. This one, he is spraying hose style, like a whole thing of toxic sludge. And notice the mechanic here. He actually has slime gathering on his legs, presumably lowering his movement speed. It's kind of hard to tell with the movement speed here. That may not even be implemented here, but he seems to be going at a relatively normal speed, but it looks like it's trying to slow him down. So that's probably going to have a more noticeable impact when you're actually playing it. And then down here, it looks like he's got sludge bombs as well. And you can actually see the mechanic has no slime on him. And then as soon as this thing explodes behind him, he gets slimed right on the legs. You know, I just realized this seems kind of ironic. I'm pretty sure this Trashbot is designed to clean up. And yet when he's in attack mode, he's doing the exact opposite of that. Because he has this brush underneath him, he has a big pile of trash, so obviously he's supposed to be cleaning up the trash, but now he's just creating trash everywhere. He's just giving himself more work. Is it really worth it, dude? Oh, I did just notice something else. See these blue arrows? I didn't notice these blue arrows until now. It looks like these arrows are indicating where the sludge bombs are going to land. That's my assumption about this, at least. All right, moving on. Looks like we have a deeper look into the new outfit, the miner outfit. So what would Scrap Mechanic Devblog be without a new outfit reveal? Previously hinted at but never shown, here is the miner outfit, just one of many new outfits you can find in the upcoming chapter. All right, so this thing is pretty cool looking. I think the backpack is my favorite from this one. All right, we got our gloves, hat, mask, boots. I don't know what this is. Oh, it looks like it's a radio of sorts on the shoulder there. So this hat's pretty cool. It has a lamp on it. It'd be nice if the lamp actually worked, but looking at this, it doesn't look like it actually does anything. However, the boots actually glow underneath. Those are some pretty cool boots actually. And the hat has a glowing part too, and the eyes. Okay, moving on. Challenge mode update. Our main focus is still the next chapter, but we have a bigger update coming before that. This is a really key piece of information here. It includes a mix of new content along with several improvements that we think a lot of you will appreciate. We aim to have this out around May this year, so potentially just 2 months away. All right, so we got some more pictures of challenge mode here. So challenge mode is getting an additional 10 new awesome challenges. Definitely can't wait to try those out. That will conclude the Master Mechanic Trials. Complete the final challenge to be rewarded with a very special outfit that will prove you've got the chops of a true mechanic. Really curious what outfit that's gonna be. I'm assuming it's not gonna be the miner, because that really doesn't seem related to this last sentence here, proving that we've got the chops to be a true mechanic. All right, moving on. Bots in challenge mode builder. The challenge mode builder will be getting some love with the addition of bot spawner blocks, letting you create fun and engaging custom challenges that include bots. But why stop there? Push the limits of the new option and make your own game. We recommend a shooter. We can't wait to see what this edition will let you come up with once it's out. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to add a lot of really fun elements to challenge mode. I mean, we've seen just how crazy people can get with challenge mode in its current state. This is going to just bring a whole new standard. So now I'm curious if there's going to be health in challenge mode, if we're going to have bots in challenge mode. Can you actually die from the bots? Or maybe it's just going to be creation based, like your creation has to survive the bots. All right, so this part is kind of interesting. This looks amazing right here. Like visually, I really like how this looks. So let's take a look at what this actually is. Survival mode tutorial. New players might have a hard time when starting survival mode. With that in mind, we have finally created a fun and easy onboarding experience that lets them learn the ropes. The beginning of the game now includes a series of quests that teach you the basics, as well as the new tutorial block that helps you build a basic vehicle from start to finish. So this appears to be showing how the tutorial is. You know, it tells you what kind of blocks to put where and how many to put them. Over here, it shows you can see the different stages of connect this to that, connect number 1 to number 2, and so on. Use your connect tool. So a pretty good tutorial for new players, but there's something else about this that is a little bit different. You see this block right here, this centerpiece, this is a piece. This is something that was built on top of the lift. So I'm curious if this is something that has applications outside of the tutorial thing. This could probably be related to allowing blueprints in survival mode, because right now you can't actually spawn in or save creations on a lift in survival mode. Okay, moving on, the cinematic tool. This one is really interesting to me. We've been working on a set of new tools for the next chapter. One of them is the cinematic camera tool that lets us create cutscenes. We will be using this tool in survival mode as well as in challenge mode for this next update. I love the idea of a cinematic tool that we can create cutscenes with. That would be really interesting, especially for video creation. But why only survival and challenge mode? It seems like the cinematic tool is perfect for creative mode. I guess I don't really understand how the cinematic tool works yet. So maybe for some reason it just doesn't apply to creative mode the way that I would expect, but I'm curious how it actually works. And all right, look at this. This looks like some amazing fun right here. So normally this would be about 2 FPS on my computer with this many, hey, actually, I probably couldn't even do this at this stage with the current state of the game. This is so many haybots. So this is some really promising optimizations. So we got a lot of optimization requests and we always try to deliver while also balancing our time with developing the new content. We are happy to say that the Ragdoll Simulation for knocked out characters has been greatly optimized. All mechanics that have visited the warehouse have probably experienced a performance drop when a player gets knocked out. This issue has now been fixed, and as a bonus, it also makes big bot raids run a lot smoother when a lot of them ragdoll at the same time. We also did an optimization for character collision detection that further improves the game's performance. So yeah, this is a massive, massive improvement. This just really is not possible in the current state of the game. So really looking forward to that. Okay, next up, improved mod support. We're currently adding a ton of exciting new possibilities for Scrap Mechanic mod creators. These will let mod creators create their own game modes or even games within Scrap Mechanic. Mods can use worlds from the world builder or create completely custom worlds with a script. Mod creators can also create their own characters and write scripts to turn them into hostile or friendly NPCs. This is actually a pretty big deal. If mod makers are up to it, we could see like entire story mode style stuff potentially, it seems like. We are also opening up the possibility of adding unique outfits, weapons, tools, and more. Furthermore, an updated modding API reference page will be made available, but that's just the beginning. There will be a lot more to give mod creators a lot of creative freedom, and we will go more in depth on this as we get closer to the update drop. We expect our mod makers to take scrap mechanic to a completely new level once this feature is released. So when is the next chapter coming out? We know that a long wait can be frustrating, but we don't want to commit to a specific release date until we have made sure that the next chapter is worthy of your patience and can offer you many hours of quality gameplay. We will let you know as soon as we have achieved this goal. In the meantime, we want to thank you for your understanding. And then they left us with this GIF right here, which this is just confusing me. What is this? Is this something that we're going to be able to use in the game? This seems like a random part spawner, but it's just spawning ducks, corn, toilet paper, and circuit boards. But they're not really physical objects. They kind of seem to have different physics, and they disappear after a little bit. Like, look at this toilet paper right here. Look at this. You see, it disappeared. And then it got replaced with, oh, we have the sunshakes. Sunshakes are also part of the spawned objects here. I don't know what this means. Why did you put this here? All right, anyway, I gotta stop being distracted. So, obviously, it's unfortunate that they still aren't confident enough in their development progress to give us any release date for the next chapter. But at least they gave us a release date for something, with the challenge mode update aiming for May of this year. Hopefully that doesn't get delayed at all. I'm really curious what else is going to be in the challenge mode update that they may not have highlighted here. I think my favorite part, second to the wedges of course, is the turret seat. The turret seat is going to be a game changer. That's actually kind of amazing. Well, if you guys enjoyed this, if you guys did, you might want to check out some of the other devlog reviews I've done, because they all have different information about the potential future of this game, stuff that has not been released yet. So if you missed any of those, you can check those out on the end screen right here. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.